老表们，这鸡俺妈说包韭菜扁似的，叫我来这麦地里转一圈。他说麦地头去种的有一块韭菜。
She's got striking features, razor-sharp bone structure, deep-set eyes, and a statuesque frame, the textbook definition of a foreigner. But the second she opens her mouth, out comes the most flawless Henan dialect you've ever heard.
天天面条，天天面条，宽面条、细面条、细面条、宽面条，有弄烩面，今后有弄烩面。
And she calls herself Little Black Girl. That's Fan Zihe, a social media sensation with over 1 million followers. But here's what most people don't know. She wasn't born into the life she has now. She was abandoned as a child. It was a Chinese couple who found her, took her in, and gave her a real home. Without them, she wouldn't have the family she has today. So, what's her story? Fan Zihe lives with her adoptive Chinese parents in a regular village in Henan, a province in China. She built her massive online following by posting short videos, simple, everyday moments that resonated with people. She's got a face straight out of an ancient Egyptian mural, but the moment she speaks, it's pure, familiar Mandarin. That contrast? It's like a jolt to the system, and it's exactly why she grabbed the internet's attention so fast. People are fascinated by her life, and from what she shares online, it's clear. She's not just unique, she's got a warm, easygoing personality that makes people stick around. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps keep the channel going, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and if you really liked it, share it with a friend. Let's keep the conversation going. She may have been a child they found, but after all these years, Fan Zihe doesn't see her adoptive parents as anything less than her real mom and dad. And for them, she's their daughter through and through. They even gave her a Chinese name, because to them, she was never anything but family. They don't have much money, but what they do have is a home filled with love. And to understand how they got here, you have to go back to 2002, when this humble, hard-working couple from Henan made a life-altering decision. They left China and went to Pakistan for work. That trip changed everything. One day, by sheer chance, they came across a little girl, an orphan. She was alone, with no one to look after her. And something about that sight hit them hard. But then came the harsh reality. Taking her in wasn't just a matter of kindness. They weren't wealthy. They barely had enough to get by themselves. Could they really afford to raise another child? Still, they couldn't just walk away. They knew deep down that if they left her there, her future would be bleak, maybe even non-existent. In the end, their hearts won over their fears. They made the decision. No matter how tough life got, they would rather struggle with one more mouth to feed than let this child disappear into the cracks of the world. So, they took her home. And if you'd told them then how much this one act of kindness would change their lives, they never would have believed you. Eventually, they brought her back to China. Life was still tough, but at least in their home village, raising a child wouldn't be as financially crushing as it would have been abroad. But there was another challenge waiting. Fan Zihe had darker skin, something that set her apart from the other kids. And as a child, she struggled with that. She didn't understand why she looked different, and worse, some kids who didn't know any better, refused to play with her because of it. When her adoptive parents found out, they didn't brush it off. They didn't tell her to just get over it. No, they stood by her, reassured her, and made sure she knew she wasn't alone. That support made all the difference. Over time, the insecurities faded. She learned how to connect with her peers, how to stand tall in her own skin. The worry, the doubt, it all melted away. Her parents didn't have much, but they gave her everything they could. And most importantly, they gave her love, the kind that isn't measured by blood, but by the sacrifices you're willing to make for someone. Fan Zihe fully embraced life in China. She ate Chinese food, spoke fluent Mandarin, and aside from her foreign features, she was no different from any other Chinese girl. She loved her parents with all her heart, and she loved the country that raised her just as deeply. Even though she wasn't born on this land, she had long since considered it her only home. Whenever she talked about her Chinese nationality, a deep sense of pride would light up her face. As the internet era took off, more and more people turned to social media, sharing their daily lives online. Fan Zihe joined in, filming simple videos about her life. She didn't rely on flashy outfits, elaborate backdrops, or clickbait titles to draw attention. Her content was built on one thing: authenticity. That's why people connected with her. In her videos, she called herself Little Black Girl. At first glance, she had the refined elegance of a model, but the moment she spoke, it was pure, down-to-earth Henan dialect. That contrast was magnetic. With her striking looks and warm personality, she carved out a path in social media that no one else could replicate. Her fan base grew rapidly, and with fame came a better financial situation for her family. But as her popularity soared, so did the challenges. When she went out, she often found herself recognized by people who had seen her videos. Her face was simply too unforgettable. Some were genuine fans, and she didn't mind being approached by them. But others, they only cared about the clout she brought. Some went as far as secretly taking photos of her. And worse, there were those who didn't even knock before barging into her home, completely disregarding her privacy. That kind of intrusion began to take a serious toll on her personal life. Fan Zihe's videos have a distinct charm that sets her apart. Unlike many influencers who go to great lengths to maintain a polished, picture-perfect image, constantly curating content to show off how glamorous their lives are, she keeps things as simple as possible. Whether she's filming a video or streaming live, there's no pretense, no unnecessary frills. Sometimes she just throws on casual clothes, props up her phone on a stand, and starts streaming right from her family's couch. Beyond her striking looks, it's her personality that truly draws people in. Whether before or after going viral, she has never let outside pressure dictate her pace. She moves forward steadily, always on her own terms. In her everyday life, she's just like any other young woman. She takes great care in decorating her room, a small detail that speaks volumes about how much she values the simple joys of life. She also does her best to help her parents with housework and farm chores, not for show, not for the camera, but because she genuinely appreciates how hard they have worked. Time has passed, and the abandoned baby she once was has grown into a thoughtful, capable adult. Meanwhile, her parents have aged, year by year. But the kindness they showed all those years ago gave them something priceless: an incredible daughter, and a life full of love and happiness. Fan Zihe's story is a reminder that happiness isn't just about luxury or perfection. A simple, quiet life can be just as fulfilling. As long as you're healthy and surrounded by the people you love, even the most ordinary days can be something to cherish. Hopefully, she and her family will continue to share their journey, capturing even more moments of the happiness they have built together.